Hi, my name is Infinite, and you're listening to Infinite Rocket Power. This podcast will be updated on a weekly or bi weekly basis regarding topics in my life and different aspects and perspectives about life. Today's topic is Wolves in Sheep's Clothing. How do you protect you? We've all heard the phrase wolves in sheep's clothing, often used to describe people that appear something that they are not. Today, we will discuss how to identify these people, as well as how society enables these people, and ways that you can protect yourself. But before we get into this topic, if you love Kate Spade, Bessie Johnson, or any other exclusive jewelry, please visit www.prosperityboutique.com and be sure that you like and subscribe. How's everyone doing today?
Great, amazing.
Blessed.
Doing pretty good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
I'm Teray Love. I'm not a builder on here or a creator. I'm just a person that love being on here, love meeting a lot of great people, and I have met a lot of great people. So yeah, I'm just blessed enough to be up on here to meet these incredible people. So yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is B, and I am the CEO of B Organics, formerly known as B Aroma Scent. B Organics is a healthy hair and beard product company. Our products are non-toxic, non-chemical, and they're also non nut ingredient they're nut ingredient free. That means we do not use any shea butters, coconut oils, almond oils, anything that is produced or derived from a nut. We do not use. And you can find me here in Horizon. I have a world called Be Organics Beauty Supply Store. You can find me there or at the Beehive, having our talks on Saturday nights at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Or you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under Be Organics. Have a blessed day.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dick Tracy, creator of The Garden. It's the only word I have built so far, but definitely something to check out. Um, Currently, I'm not on Horizon as often as I used to be. I'm working on finishing my bachelor's degree, so my
Mm.
time is kind of focused on that. But I am glad to be here with everybody around the table, and yeah, that's all I got for you.
Hey, I'm Shay Arts. I'm an artist and scripter here in Horizons, and I'm just here to create and have fun and to promote my business. Please follow me on Instagram, Shay Arts underscore VR, and also a real touch.xr.
Hello, my name is Herbert Joyce Jr., and I am a world creator here in Horizon World. Um, the world that I created is Metacourt, um, District 901. So it's an honor to be here.
And I'm very grateful to have you all today. When I hear the phrase wolves in sheep's clothing, it reminds me of why I love people and hate people. Well, don't dislike people at the same time. Because people have a hard time just being themselves. And today before we get started, I just want to go around the room and share, want you all to share you all's personal opinion
Mhm.
on that phrase.
I'm sorry. I guess when I hear it, all I could think about is another person's intentions. I feel like everybody has some type of intention, and just the people that you meet, you will hope that they will have good intentions, but some people will have bad intentions, so some people could be hiding it, you know and yeah. So I would say this: just the word sheep alone, like, I feel like we all are a type of sheep, because
Mhm.
we don't know, if you understand what a sheep need a shepherd, because they don't know, they follow one another, right? And wolves come to attack, so they have to do whatever they have to do in order to I guess get in with the sheep or blend in with them. So yeah, that's
Well, when I hear the phrase "wolves in sheep's clothing," I think of the story from when we was kids, the Three Little Pigs, and Mary Had a Little Lamb. You know, I think of those stories when they was in disguise. The wolf was in disguise,
Mm-hmm.
and he played the form of her grandmother, and in order to get her to come in so he could eat her. And he did the same thing with the Three Little Pigs, and that's somebody that comes to with malicious intent to harm you in some kind of way, whether it be verbally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and they come in a nice form. They come to you in a nice form. They could be sweet as candy, but they have a malicious intent to come to you and hurt you. And that's what I think of when I hear wolves in sheep clothing.
Yeah, that's agree with B here. That's what I think of as well. Somebody that comes to do harm to you, but they have to do it in a way that gets you to open up to them, get you to trust them, um, and that makes that betrayal so much more. It makes you more accessible, and it makes that betrayal much easier for them. So, yeah.
I agree with what everyone says. Someone who comes to you under the disguise of a friend, or being meek, or um being less than they are, but you find out later that what their true intentions are. So, like T Ray said, it really that term really makes me think about the intentions that someone has when you're interacting with them. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think that one word that I am hearing is intentions. And I think that's vital role in what the phrase wolves in sheep clothing is referring to. But I do believe that the phrase wolves in sheep clothing refers to people who pretend to be harmless or even maybe benign, but actually have bad intentions or are deceitful. So that's my spill on it. And yeah, wolves in sheep clothing. And I like what I think T Ray says, sheep. You know, sheep are innocent. Sheep are literally ignorant, and not ignorant in a negative um, tone, but ignorant in they just don't know, and you need a shepherd.
Okay.
And then, but you also have to look at what wolves are. Wolves are literally prey. Wolves are prey. Um, wolves in sheep clothing, literally, wolf dressing up as a sheep to consume the other sheep or the other people that's around them. So yeah.
Okay. With that being said, starting with you, Teray, do do you or have you ever used deception to accomplish your personal goal? And do you ever feel like there's an acceptable time to do such?
No, like I have never used or never came with somebody with some type of ill intent. That's not the way I was raised. Any type of deception, anything. Just saying that word. I mean, you can see my Oculus face, like, I mean, my face in real life, just ugh. It's just like when I hear the word deception, I just think evil, like unfitting, like I don't want it around me. So no, I have never used any type of deception to get close to somebody that's in relationship, business. Now, I have seen people use it quite a few times. So yeah,
So
but
you don't feel like it would be acceptable under any circumstance personally?
not at all. Mm-mm. That's on like some Julius Caesar type of stuff when they all deceived him and they stabbed him, and then his best friend Brutus stabbed him in the back, and he was like, "Dang, you too, Brutus." So no,
Okay.
Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is, do you use deception in order to accomplish a personal goal? And is there a time where you feel like it's acceptable to use it deception?
Well, to answer that first question, I'm not a deceptive person. I'm more more truthful upfront with people. So I would never deceive nobody into doing anything that I want them to do. And it's never a good thing to do to deceive people maliciously, ever. To deceive people any kind of way. It's never right. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Um, so we hear that word deception, and automatically we go to that it's an evil thing, it's a bad thing. Um, to answer the question, I don't believe I've ever deceived anybody into doing something that I wanted them to do. Um, but there are forms of deception. It was just when you call it that, words have different meanings. Um, but there are forms of deception that are acceptable that we abide by. And one of those forms of deception is advertising, right? And we don't call it deception. You don't call it deception, but it's deception. You know, Red Bull gives you wings. And we should all be smart enough to know that Red Bull don't really give you wings, right? But that's a form of advertisement. Advertisement is a form of deception, and the purpose is to get you to purchase what they're trying to push to you. So, is there ever a time for deception? You hear that word and you just automatically assume, "Oh, I don't like that. I don't like the connotation that goes with that word deception." But you live by it, whether you realize it or not. We all do. I ain't just you. I ain't pointing at anybody here. We all do. So no, I don't think I've ever deceived anybody to do something that I wanted them to do. And I think, yeah, I answered that second part. So that's all I
Okay.
got.
Interesting.
Um, I do feel there are layers to that, especially like what they said though, that word specifically deception is different from lying, but deception at its form is getting someone to believe something that's not true. And we've all done that at some point in our life, whether we're lying to our mama like the food good, or um, really, or if we're trying to act, if we're trying to portray like we like this person because we have to work with them, if we're portraying a niceness to a person because we have to work with them. And so I do believe like I've never gone to anyone with any ill intention of trying to deceive them into something untrue for malicious intent. But as an artist, I have to be like, this is the greatest painting you. I mean, if you put this painting in your room, this will be it. As an artist and as a businesswoman, I do have to. The word deceive is a harsh word, but like you said, with advertisement, there are portrayals of yourself that you have to use when dealing with business. You can't be your true self in certain instances of work and whatever, and that in itself, that character that you portray, that is a deception in itself. But that word deception does come with just the word itself does come with a negative connotation, but so for that use, no, I know because I believe in karma, so I never go to anyone, even if a business purpose. If I'm with you, if we're using each other for mutual business purposes, I don't never come to it with the ill intent because I feel like that will always come back.
Right.
Mm.
And I agree with Shay, 100%. I also believe in, whatever you whatever you sow, you reap. So number one, I'm not trying to reap anything, negative that I have sown. And even with the word deception, that's a very, very strong word.
Mm.
I mean, just hearing the word deception, I think you asked T Ray the question, and I'm sure when he heard deception, he was like, "No, no, I do not deceive anyone." So, but that's it. Kind of translate to another word. Um, I guess like manipulation. That's one of the signs of uh of someone being a wolf in sheep clothing. And literally they're just people who are not genuine. uh them or cause you to agree with them in something. And some things we have to really watch out. It's like guilt trips or flattery or like just different other tactics. Because when you deceive people, like she said, that there are levels in deception. Um, I also I tell people this. I'm like, I think my nephew, he had the tendency to lie. I'm talking about lie to the point where it can be believable. I'm like, you'll make a great lawyer because because you can fix up a good lie. Not saying that all lawyers are, just liars, but in a sense, like what Shay said, there are levels. I don't like the word deception. But for me, no, I don't. I will never ever deceive anyone for my self gain or just deceive. It's just not right. Certain things you just shouldn't do.
Okay.
Character is key.
And I agree with that. I asked before I started this podcast that I asked my mom some of these questions as well, and she said kind of the same things that you all said, but in reference to when it's acceptable, she used it like when give you trying to give your kids medicine and you say, hey, it tastes wonderful, so in that
Mm-hmm.
case, your intentions are good, and but you know it just depends. Like you said, it's the depending on the degree
The
and what you're
medicine
talking
is
about.
nasty, but it's good for you.
Yeah.
The benefits are good for you.
It's crazy. I guess it will be levels to it. It's just that word. It's just like I'm just like telling a white lie. It's just something when
Yeah.
I hear deception, was telling a white lie. I don't know. Telling a lie is different than like deception. I'm like you planning something evil
Mm,
intent or malicious to do. So when I
right.
hear that word, so it's
Exactly. It's
different
the
when you tell
intention.
a white lie and when you trying to get somebody to do something for your own, like no maliciously. So I guess
Mm,
there is level to deception, but every time I hear the word deception, it's almost like I'm planning something. Like I know my intent. I already know it from the jump. And if I'm gonna lie, I'm just gonna tell a white lie. Like,
Mm.
oh, your hair look good. That's not that I'm deceiving you. I'm just telling a white lie and knowing that I don't want to hurt your feelings. But when I think of deception, I'm thinking of like somebody plotting against you.
mm,
Almost the wolf in sheep like clothing. Like they plotting to get you.
Mm.
When I think about that. But I guess I never thought about there being levels to it. But even with the product, the one thing that Shay was saying with the product, and even Dick was talking about, you could still sell a product without lying to people. B just said it. She just said all her stuff is this, that, that. She didn't have to lie or deceive the people to buy the product. She just
Mm.
told the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, and we talk about these big companies like Red Bull and stuff like that. These are capitalists. These are big corporate. We know they gonna lie,
mm,
but they don't have
mm,
nothing to do with us though.
mm,
And
You know
if
what I'm
you
saying?
read
They
the
selling the product.
ingredients, if you read the
Yeah,
ingredients, it's malicious because those ingredients are not healthy for you.
right.
Mm.
Agreed.
It's
Mm.
malicious. They know it's not healthy for you, and they still try and convince you, "Oh, this is good for you. You want wings? Why would I want wings? I'm human. I'm supposed to walk, not fly in a bird." But when I think it was Shay said it about you know being deceptive and in business. That's one thing I chose not to do. Like
yeah.
I was telling someone the other day, yesterday, she does hair products as well, and she puts on her products hair growth oil, and I told her, I said it's really not hair growth oil. Oil does not grow your hair. Topical things do not grow your hair. I said if you go to the doctor with a rash, he's gonna give you a topical a cream to put on it. If it does not heal, you know what he's gonna give you? A pill, because internal is the only way it's gonna heal it. But he'll start you off with a topical cream to see if that helps. Maybe it's a surface infection. If it's not, it's internal. I said, so I don't put on my products growth oil because it's not a growth oil. The ingredients will help to heal your scalp so your hair can grow. And
Mm.
that's what it does. But when I said I didn't deceive people, that's not true. That's not true. I have deceived plenty of men back in my day. But it was my job. So is that deceiving when they know they being deceived?
Mm.
Is it still deception? You came into this place for me to give you a fantasy. Is that still deception? You knew what you was coming for. So is that still deception?
Okay. We gonna get to that B. We gonna get to that. All right, I'm gonna ask you three set of questions, and then I'm gonna ask you three. Well, we gonna answer this different set of questions, and then we gonna meet in the middle. All right, starting with Teray. Do you think what do you think is the biggest risk to being deceived by someone who's pretending to be someone they're not?
Okay, so wait. So you said what's the biggest risk?
Mm-hmm.
It's everything. You can lose your life, lose your business. Talking about the person that's deceiving the
Mm-hmm.
person. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it can mean everything. It can literally mean your life. A person that's doing the deceiving. That can mean your life. So yeah, it's everything.
Okay.
It can mean literally everything.
Bill?
It ain't good for nobody that deceive you. Because if I find out, that's a problem. Then you deceive me into thinking something is good for me. What if it hurts me? What if it kills me?
Mm.
Deception in any form is not good. Deceiving, malicious intent, none of that is good in any form. We should never maliciously or not maliciously deceive people. But hey, that's life. The
Okay.
government deceive us every day. They showed that with COVID. So life is full of deception.
Trey?
Just time. Uh, Time is something we all don't have. We're not sure how much of it we do have, and a lot of our time, everybody's time is precious to them. So, really, at the end of the day, it's just your time. Your time has been wasted believing a lie, believing that somebody or something is good for you, and it's not. So, it's just really your time.
Okay. All right, Shay, let me ask you this. What advice would you give someone who suspects they are dealing with a person that is a wolf in sheep's clothing?
Um, the advice I will give and something that I live by is to trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.
Right.
And depending on your level of your relationship with that person, you need to start immediately if you do feel like that person is deceiving you. First, to understand why you feel that way. Do you see signs? Has something? Is it something someone said, or is it something that you see and feel? And once you identify what that deception is, or what you feel like you're being deceived about, whether it's that person or whatever they're coming to you with, then you need to work on disengaging yourself, especially if it's business related. With personal people, with people, it just in general, if I feel like I'm being deceived, I usually just I don't give them anything to hurt me with. Um, I don't collab with anybody I don't trust, or if I do collab with something and if I feel like they would be the type of person to take something, I wouldn't collab with them. If I do collab with someone and later we have an ill relationship, that's something that's just collateral. That's just life. And so my best advice is to disengage yourself from that person. Don't have any type of intertwinings with your life. Anything that does, as long as it doesn't affect you, um, let it be. Like I said, it depends on the levels. If it's someone intimate you're with, a friend or something that you feel like has been deceptive, that's something that you can put your energy into, and you come to that person and you confront them. Um, and so yeah, it's different ways of handling it, but the main thing I would say is trust your gut and go with whatever you feel like is most comfortable.
All right, Herbert, how about you?
Um, I would probably say, number one, pay attention to their actions, and not just their words. Um, I think number two probably would be observe their behavior in different situations. Just using discernment, because some people are very good at putting on a facade in certain situations, but their true color shows in other situations. So you gotta pay attention to how they interact with different people in various settings. Um, be aware. You have well, not be aware, but be um, wary of people whom seem to be good. How can I say it? It's like too good to be true
Mm.
type of situation. You know, I had a situation where I was talking to this young lady, and I knew it was something that was kind of off about her a little bit, and so I just prayed a prayer. I'm like, Lord, you got to show me, is this girl, she's too good to be true? And trust me, he showed me. That's a whole nother story. So, but if someone seems too perfect, too kind, too charming, I'm not gonna say that, because you have people that are genuine like that, but you probably just want to just do just a little more investigating to
Mm.
see if it's right for you. Because you do have people that it's like, man, this person is right for me. It's like almost perfect, and they can literally be genuine, and those people can be for you, whether if it's in a love relationship or a business relationship or just a friendship. Um, then I would say look for signs of manipulation. People who are not genuine will try to manipulate you into doing something or agreeing with them. So you have to, like I said earlier, you have to watch out for the guilt trip, the flattering, and the other tactics. And like take a page from Shay's book. Trust your gut. If something feels off about someone, you gotta listen to your intentions. Um, your subconscious mind sometimes pick up on certain things or certain clues that are not, consciously aware. So you have to just at the end of the day, trust your gut. Most 9 times out of 10, your gut is always right.
And I would say trust your gut as well. Starting with you, Teray. What are some behaviors that you've seen that are indicators that you're dealing with a fake person?
I'm gonna tell you, going back to what Herbert said, it's discernment. Like God will let you know. Like if you got a good personal relationship with God, He'll let you know. He'll let you know before your gut let you know.
Mm.
He'll let you know in
Mm-hmm.
dreams. I'm telling you,
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, God will let you know for real. It's praying for that discernment. So normally, I already know. I could feel it on them,
Mm-hmm.
even virtually.
Mm.
I
Yep.
could feel
Me
it
too.
virtually if a person is right. Easy. And some. I mean, excuse me. Sometimes I get kind of scary too, because sometimes you could feel that spirit on those people. That's why I try to stay. You know what I'm saying? I just stay away or whatever. But yeah, definitely what Herbert said, that discernment. Yeah, definitely praying for discernment.
Hmm.
I'm 100% with these two here. I was dating this guy years ago, and I knew something was up. I knew something was up. I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't find it. I was at work. I was getting off from work, and a friend of mine called me and was like, "Come down here to my job." And come to find out, they worked at the same job. And when I got there, we talking, and someone walks up and was like, "Oh, I know him. You his sister?" I'm like, "No." And I found out he was dealing with a girl down in the complex where they worked at. When I tell you God ain't no joke, and I didn't pray about it, Herbert. I didn't pray about it, but God still revealed it to me because I'm that important to him
Mm.
that he didn't want me to be deceived by this. if you don't believe in God, that's your choice. I do, and He has always been the lamp to my feet. He has always been the tunnel, the view for me all my life, and He has opened up some doors and some eyes on a lot of people, and I appreciate that because don't nobody have my back like that.
One thing I can this reminds me of is that saying "fool me once, shame on you;
Mm-hmm.
fool me twice, shame on me." But so let me ask you, Dick Tracy, is it still considered deception when you have did the lie?
Yeah, it's once you realize that you're being deceived, you made a choice to go along with it. It's no longer deception. It's a lie that you agreed to live by and abide by, but deception for the victim, it's deception in any form.
Mm. Shay, let me ask you the same question.
Um, I couldn't say no better than Dick Tracy said. Once you see a person for their true colors, it's up to you whether you choose to deal with them, if your level of dealing with them, if you do choose to deal with
Okay. All right, Herbert. So let me ask you this: what should you do if you suspect someone is being fake with you?
Run. uh, if you um if you suspect somebody's really being fake with you, I mean, we all have experienced that in some shape, form, and fashion, in the past or even recently. Um, I know with me, I can see straight through muddy water. I'm like T Ray, you know, I can see straight through your spirit, even through the avatar. And you make me mad enough, I can tell you about your life. So you may not want to mess with me.
Mm.
um, I too am a believer, and I put my trust in God, and He has shown me things before it even took place in my life. Were relationships, personal relationships, business relationship. So I would probably say that's one of a perk, and I would say that's just a gift, you know, um, that comes into play, spiritual gift that comes into play even in my business life. Um, so I normally would see that, and I would just dodge it. But sometimes, sometimes you just. I would say this. Let me say this. Um, my ex that I dated, the last young lady that I dated, um, normally in my relationships, I will always know if it's gonna work out or not, and how long would it last. Hold on for a moment. So but I'll say this. So it's like this time I was dating this young lady. I didn't want to hear nothing. I didn't want to hear no feelings. I didn't want to hear, God give me anything. I just was like, I don't want to know. She just the one. So he pulled back. But I had to experience that journey, because even though he could have revealed, all right, do this, do that, but even in this situation, he still will let me know certain things, ask me questions. What would happen if you found out this? How would you react? Like little words, and because sometimes we're just human. We are human and we're spirits. And to be honest, we vibe each other. We say vibe, we feel each other, even in conversations, even in the Oculus. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if I say something bad to Shay, even though Shay and I we live in the same city, but we're like miles away, I can say something nasty to her and it can affect her. What affect her, not infect, but it will affect her. So words are powerful. Um, so for me, I know I would try to my best to dodge it, even if it seems to be too good to be true. I'm gonna tell you this. Recently, God, what's that news station? The Washington Post reached out to me about the metaverse sometime last week, and I'm like, okay, well, this is cool. This is a good opportunity, and I was talking to some of my colleagues, and I'm like, why would they reach out to me, and how did they find me, and what are their intents, why they want to interview me? And so I was like, okay, but using discernment, I already felt that this young lady was going to be messy, but I already had the plan of action to detour of what hole that she tried to dig me in. So I'm like, okay, cool. I ended up talking to her that Monday. She messaged me Sunday. When I talked with her, she asked me. She was like, "So, I'm calling." Well, she called me. Her tone was good. She was sound like, hello, my name is blah blah blah, and I'm from the Washington Post. I'm like, okay, so are you busy? I said, well, give me a call back within an hour. She called me back within an hour. Her tone changed. Like she sounded like she was like this. I guess this California chick or something. Like no indictment to anybody who's from California, but you know, she just sounded. It was something. Her voice changed, and she asked. She's like, I wanted to ask you, have you ever experienced harassment in Horizon World? And of course, we have all experienced harassment in Horizon World, but because we are in Horizon World and we are part of Horizon World family, whether if you want to accept it or not, that is a big company, a huge company, and we can say anything that they can put in their newsletter or editorial can get kicked off of Horizon World.
Mm.
And so, using wisdom, I told I'm like, well, before Horizon World came apart, came together, racism has always existed. I said we're just literally bringing our issues, bringing our happiness, bringing our joys, bringing our pains. When we put on this Oculus, we're literally inside this avatar, just bringing our issues inside the metaverse. I said, so racism will always be in the metaverse. So, she called back. What she said, well, hold up, let me call you back. I just got another post, something. I'm like, cool. I got off that phone. I'm like, Lord, please don't let this lady call me back because I do not want to talk to her because she's been really messy. I'm not a messy person. She ain't trying to the little bit with that I got going on with Horizon. I don't need to mess that up. She ended up texting me. She was like, "Well, we actually wanted to interview some adults about children being harassed in Horizon World, and we'll reach out to you." I'm like, "Okay, cool. By all means, go on with your business. I don't care if you with Washington Post. I don't care if you with all these other news stations. It's not worth my integrity by
Mm.
trying to deceive, or give you a message by trying to deceive Horizon World. I'm not gonna do that. So uh, 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 it's just you just have to run away. In some situations, you're just gonna encounter. Period. You may not have to run away. Have no choice but to run forward, but they're in the way. But you have to learn how to dodge the bullet, dodge the negativism, the wall. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm
Mm.
just going
That
on with
discernment and wisdom, he said. That's man, I'm telling
tangent.
you. Mm.
Yeah.
Dick Trace, I want to ask you this question. How do you tell if someone's genuinely interested in you versus just pretending?
Um, so I agree with the discernment. I have a really good. I don't brag on myself, but I have a really good gift of discernment. I'm quiet. I'm an observer. I like to scope things out. I'm sure maybe a lot of people, everybody at the table, anybody that's listening is probably the same way. But I like to observe where I see myself fitting in, who I need to know, who I need to talk to, and who I need to ignore,
Mm.
and who I need to stay away from me. So the way I do it and what works for me is I usually know. Again, I don't brag on myself, but I'm bragging here. I usually know everything I need to know about you within the first few minutes that we've spoken. Um, and for me, it could be just, it's not necessarily, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing is generic, right? Those are the pleasantries, the curtsy that you do when you meet somebody. When you, I
Mm.
mean, you, hey, how you doing somebody in the elevator that you don't even know, you know, I ain't talking about that. But it's the genuine, it's how genuine you are, how genuinely interested you are in meeting me, because I'm genuinely interested in meeting you, right? But if you're genuinely interested in telling me about your accomplishments, kudos to you. You know, where you've been, places you've gone to, things you've done, all these great achievements that you have. That's great. That's wonderful. But when I start seeing that conversation is just you bragging on yourself, hyping yourself up, making yourself marketable, as if I'm somebody who's trying to, you trying to sell to. I Now there are times when that's acceptable, right? You got to make yourself marketable. In business meetings, business seminars, like you need to sell yourself, right? But to cut this short, I usually know everything I need to know about you in the first couple of minutes based on your conversation. And if it's not genuine, um, then I just stay away from you. We will interact, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Starting with you, Teray, and I'm gonna state these statistics. They say 67% of the news that we come across is fake. So, from your perspective, what role do you think society plays in enabling fake people?
Let me just say this. Big shouts out to you, Infinite. I don't even know you, like, I ain't never seen you in person. But let me just say this. I could tell you're a really good, genuine person. I ain't never felt anything like bad about you. So let me just say that. Big shouts out to you. Thank you for even sending the Christmas card and gift. Like that was very sweet and genuine. You didn't have to do that. So let me just say, I know I already told you thank you. I know it's March, but I just want to say thank you for just being genuine. Cause you're not gonna find, like, it's hard to find people like you here. So just let me just give you your flowers. Like thank you and keep being that way. So when I say that, don't let other people, sometimes somebody get deceived, they get into this locking thing where they don't want to let nobody else in. You can't be that way. You know, just ask God for wisdom and also discernment. You know what I'm saying? That way you could block. But some people get so shield that God could bring good people in their life, but they so shield up that that good person is gone. So just continue to be that good and great person and keep spreading love. And just like, I just want to say, I'm gonna get back to the question. I just want to say big shots out to you, giving you your flowers.
I appreciate that, Teray. I really do.
Yeah, I had to say that. But yeah, back to what you was saying. It kind of like Denzel. Well, it's this reel where he actually did a video, but Denzel did this reel where he was talking about too much information. I think the problem with today's is too much information in the media, where everybody feel like they right, and a lot of this stuff is fake news. Like it's something, and then I don't like the way the media and this. And when I say media, I'm talking about social media, the news. They take bits of an interview. I don't seen it way too many times. they'll take bits of an interview of what somebody said and flipped it like they said that. Then you go back and watch the whole interview, you're like, wait a minute, I ain't get nothing. Wait, how did they get this from this? Now that's the biggest like the concept. I love technology, but right now technology is way out of hand. It's a lot of lies, a lot of fake news going around, and I don't really think we can stop that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And people gonna believe what they want to believe. And that's the saddest thing about it. Like people won't go and do their research. Like I'm the type of person, if you tell me something, I'm gonna go look it up to make sure you right. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna make sure what you saying is right. I'm just not nowadays. You just can't take nobody word like that. You know, I go look it up and research every last word. And you send me an article like, oh, this and that. I'm gonna look up that article. Like, let me make sure. Okay, so this doctor did this. Okay, that's just how I am. So yeah,
Okay. B, I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Can you repeat it, please?
Yes, ma'am. What role do you think society plays in enabling fake people?
They play a big role. Social media is the biggest one because it gives people just like the Oculus. It gives people the opportunity to become whoever they want to be. I could be 500 pounds and in a 2 pound avatar. You would never know. I could be laying up here in my bed and can't get out my bed. You would never know because I'm walking around here like I got functioning legs. There's a young lady in here. She's a double amputee, but she can walk perfectly in here. So I say the government plays a big role in people being fake. You got pedophiles in here. We wouldn't know it. This is a perfect place for them to come and pray because you cannot see the actual person. It's not like we walk up in an avatar and a screen comes up and gives you our whole background. No, you just take for what you see. And that's how people get deceived.
Okay. Dick Tracy, let me ask you this. Do you think that technology and social media make it easier for people to be fake?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Technology, well, social media specifically just makes it it makes it easier to do a lot of things. Uh, a lot of things are coming to a lot of things that we, my skin folk, we've already known about, but the rest of the world probably didn't know about, and a lot of that is police brutality. So because of social media and technology, it's more um, accessible. You know, you can just pull your phone up and you can record it, and bam, it's on the internet, and everybody knows about it like that. So, in terms of it being easier for people to be fake, then absolutely, you have people who I don't want to get too winded on this, but it seems like that's where society is headed,
Mm,
or we're already there. We're already in that direction of being fake, but and not directing that to anybody in this room, but we're there. You get on Instagram, you have these Instagram influencers, you have these Twitter influencers, whatever the fuck niggas is using nowadays. Um, they get on, they get on, and they. I'm sorry.
that real came out. Now I love it. I love it.
They get on and they market themselves. That's that word marketability. Make yourself marketable, right?
mm,
And a lot of that has to do with sometimes you being fake, you selling fake shit to people. And if that could be, that don't necessarily have to be a product, because if you are the product, then you're selling yourself, you're selling your image. And a lot of times our image, like B just said, I'm looking around the room, I'm seeing all these images of us, but I don't know if that's you. I mean, I know what you look like, but I don't know if that's really you. You know what I mean? You know what I
And
look
she
like. We know
kind
what
of
each
looked
other
like
look
that
like. You know,
avatar too, don't she? She kind of looked
she
like
do
that
look like
avatar.
Avatar.
She do. You do.
So it might
You
not
do.
apply.
Yes, you do.
But you get my
Hey,
point.
sometimes
My
that's
point
so
is just,
weird though.
you know,
That's weird though. She do look like her
mm.
avatar.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, that's all I get. It makes it a lot easier, a hell of a lot easier to be fake. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shay, let me ask you this. How do you think we can create communities and organizations that discourage fake people from infiltrating and damaging the culture?
Ooh. Repeat it one more time so I can digest.
Okay. How do you think we can create communities and organizations that discourage fake people from infiltrating and damaging the culture?
How do I think
Hmm.
we can create those? I think by showing that we can be authentic ourselves, it will encourage people to be authentic. And it will also cast a light on those who aren't, and they will be. Um, I'll say, for example, here in Horizon, when I first came in, there were artists, that were up and coming, they were big. As soon as they made one ill remark towards another artist, their whole reputation was just shut down. And it's like, that person had to take time to come back and show people that this is who I am. This is who I really am. But because um because so many people had already had that first that first impression of maliciousness, that being what they were first knowing him for, it was hard for him to come back and to to truly be his authentic self because of people's discernment, but not
Opinion.
really knowing. Their opinion from not really
Mm-hmm.
knowing him, but only knowing that situation that surrounded him. And so I
Mm,
look at, like, here specifically in Horizons. I feel like being authentic, and whether being authentically yourself, whether that's good or bad, if you're you, you're going to attract those type of people um to you, and that in itself builds this community because you have that community of like-minded
Mm-hmm.
individuals, and the people who don't, or who do come with malicious intent, they, in time, it will reveal themselves, and they just naturally fall to the wayside because that community of integrity and the
Excuse
community of authenticity is stronger. And so I feel like we build the communities just with the interaction we have with people and keeping those connections strong. And then when those connections fade from certain people and they lose all their connections, taking um I don't want to say people's names, but taking one guy, who was going around stealing worlds and advertising himself as doing this, but the whole time he's just taking and regurgitating other people's products and stuff.
Hmm.
And the community got together and they decided they're just not going to work with him, and so he just
mm,
eventually just fell off to the wayside. There was nothing that had to be done because the universe is gonna meld itself out. So I definitely feel like having that community, building that community within your network will just naturally encourage others that are like-minded to be their authentic selves, and the others, they'll just naturally be cast out. Um,
mm. I love
one
it.
thing is
I
the
love
avatars. I'm sorry. One thing is the avatars. When I came in, there was a lot of catfishing,
it.
and Meta had that little mishap where they showed everyone's avatar, everyone's actual pictures, and after that
Mm-hmm.
instance, so many people came back and were their authentic selves, whether they were naturally lighter, darker, bigger, smaller. Some of those people who were a lot more negative at first, I saw that after that mishap, they came back more as their authentic selves. They post their authentic selves more, and they're not portraying that Horizon character. They're posting their real selves, and they feel comfortable doing that and being more authentic.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, Shay. Herbert, let me ask you this, and then I got two more questions for the room, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Herbert, what impact do you think fake people have on our society?
What impact that fake people have on our society? Well, I would say if there wasn't any fake people, we would have a perfect society. Um, so I think it's somewhat of a yin and yang thing. So you have dark and light. You have up. You have down. You have night. You have day. So I would probably say that, man, it's it makes our society, to be honest.
Mm,
I mean, you have people that are malicious in the business world. You have people that are malicious in school. It's just, and I hate to say it, it's just a part of life. It's something that we just have to adjust to. It's something that we can't get rid of, but we just have to be aware of it to where to, if it's presented to us, how can we maneuver from people that are being fake, from people that comes as um, uh, wolves in sheep's clothing. We just have to have that open eye, and we have to learn from our mistakes. Because we all have been deceived once or more in our life. So take those learn lessons, those pitfalls, those experiences, and just learn from it, because what experiences causes us to gain is wisdom. If you would learn from them and not be so bitter about it, and then you in turn into a wolf in sheep's clothing.
mm,
So either because most times, when somebody do something to you, you're gonna want to do something back to them. And sometimes people just don't learn how to let things go. So I know for me, I learned how to let things go, because by me learning how to let things go, it causes me to grow.
mm,
Mm.
So, you know, it's just there. It's the world. This world isn't. It's just isn't perfect. You just have to pick sides. Do you want to be a fake person, or do you want to be a genuine person? I choose to be genuine because you know I'm not trying to reap bad things upon my life. And trust me, you're gonna get it one way or another. Even
Mm-hmm.
if you're reaping good things, you're gonna get it before you leave this earth. Or if you're reaping bad things, you're gonna get it before you leave this earth. So it's just there.
Starting with you, Teray, and we're going to go around the room. Do you think fake people can ever truly succeed long term?
Yes, Donald Trump. I'm just playing.
this that's exactly what my mama said.
So
About to run
no, they
again.
can. No. I mean, no, they
All
can.
right.
I mean, we see it in businesses, we see it in CEO. I mean, we see it everywhere. Sometimes I be thinking, look, God, hold up now. These these folks getting too much love. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, but yes, no, they can succeed. They are succeeding right now, But I do know this though. In the end, it's gonna all lead to one place. So I'm not, what I'm saying? I'd rather be genuine, real, kind, love others, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather be that way than to because at the end of the day, when all this fades away from the money, everything, it's not gonna matter.
Mm.
So
Right.
yeah.
Bia?
But are they really succeeding? Are they really? Because we only know what we see. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Mm.
Donald Trump is only Donald Trump because people make him Donald Trump. The evil people only evil because somebody allowed them to be evil. When you gave the question to Shay, the first thing came to my mind was a fire. A fire can only burn if you add fuel to it. If you don't add any fuel to people being evil and fake, they can't be. If you allow them to be who they are in a community, if they're not allowed in the community, there's no fake people. Like she said, when you have a like-minded people, there's no fake. You don't have places for fake people.
Mm.
They don't conjure together. They try and get where the good people at. Fake people don't get in a group of fake people. They
Yeah.
want to get where the good people at so they can corrupt the whole circle.
Right.
So if you don't feed it, it dies. Just like a fire. If you don't add fuel to it, it don't grow and it don't burn.
Mm. Ooh, Trey.
What? Can you just repeat the question for me one more time, please?
In your opinion, do you think that fake people can succeed long term?
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, somebody. I think maybe it was Teray. Or it had to have been Teray. You said something, or maybe it was another question. But the first thing that came to mind it was two lines from two different rap songs, and one was a Jay Z verse. One was a Jay Z line. It was "I'd rather live enormous than die dormant." That was the first
Mm.
one. The second one was from another rapper called Immortal Technique. Um, Another New York rapper called Immortal Technique, and his line was, "Oh, I'd rather be rich and unhappy than broke and miserable." Right. And so that was going through my mind when I heard that question. I was like, yeah, but absolutely, fake people can succeed long term. Like Teray said, we see it in a lot of businesses. Um, and I had this conversation with my mom. I was telling her about a lot of the businesses that I see down here that are fronts for people cleaning their money, cleaning their dirty money, or whatever it may be, whatever they might got going on, their business, that wing spot or that check cash in place is a front for whatever BS they got really going on. And I'm thinking, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, I see that doing wrong gets you rewarded. That was the first thing I told her. I said, like, doing wrong just gets you rewarded. You know, that's an easy mentality to slip into, and I'm not saying like, hey, do wrong, don't follow the path that you own, the good path that you own. But I noticed that I'm like, all these people out here doing wrong and they living it up,
Mm-hmm.
right? What am I doing wrong? I'm not doing wrong. So by not doing wrong, I'm not doing right, right? And that don't make no sense. But like like B said, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, fake people can to to sum that up, fake people can definitely last a lifetime. Yep.
Mm. Shay Arts.
Um, I definitely believe that we see it every day. Fake people, the people that you see doing wrong, they're still up and they're still successful. And yeah, I believe that they succeed up to a point. Um, but that's just life. It's a lot of good people up there at the top. It's a lot of bad people up there at the top. It's definitely balance. And yeah, I do believe that you can succeed being genuine and being honest and being yourself, and you can succeed by being fake and by being disingenuous. But the foundation that you have, that you built upon, um, if it's based off of deception, it's shaky. But if it's based off of authenticity, then it's more solid to me. Hold on, children. I'm sorry. um, so yeah, that's what I'd say.
All right.
My children
And
coming.
Herbert.
Well, I think that that's a crazy question. Like B says, how can you really define success? We only look at what the person has and kind of deem from a natural perspective success, but we don't know if they are dealing with failure in their mentality, in their spirit. You don't know if they're about to lose their mind. We've seen so many stars that have literally, I'm talking about, took their lives or depressed. Look at Michael Jackson. I mean, we would deem that having money and fame is success, but he didn't have peace in his mind. Look at what's the guy who played Mrs. Doubtfire.
I was just thinking about him.
You would never know that.
How unhappy he was.
Very successful, but couldn't find no type of peace because he felt like he was lonely. It's a scripture, a proverb says in Proverbs 16:18, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. So when you have pride, between pride and the fall, there's a timeline. And whatever that person timeline is, it depends on how God allowed the individual to remain, probably say, to be steady afloat. But I do know one thing: wolves in sheep clothing, attaching it back to that, there is a sense of pride there.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you're trying to do. For instance, feel sorry for it, but look at Wendy Williams. Had a very successful show. Very successful show. But look at the seeds that she's sown. And I remember I was just watching them, and I was like, I bet she has no friends.
None.
And then I ended up listening to an interview that people really don't trust her because she would take, it seems as if she would get close to an individual just to use what she see for the benefit of her show to gain more success. But look now how the pride, and I'm sure she had people that had great wisdom in a circle that will tell her, listen, you need to chill. You need to humble yourself, because if you don't humble yourself, you puffing yourself up like a hot air balloon. But just know, the higher you go, the harder the fall. And trust me, that arrow is gonna hit your hot air balloon, and you're gonna come down crashing. And we see, look at her. Another example, and I'm gonna be quiet. I hate it's happening to him, but R. Kelly thought he was doing certain things, getting away with certain things, messing around because he fame. Oh, I got money, I got success, I have bodyguards, I have all of these things around me. But what he have sown, those seeds he sown, have grown into oak trees. And those oak trees are falling upon him now. Now they giving him extra 30 more years. Once he done with the years in Georgia, in New York, he got to go to Georgia and do an extra
do some more
30. That's almost life. It is life. I'm like, man, he better find a chapel or something and
come and repent.
Pray fast. But this my spiel on it.
You gotta humble yourself, man. Humble,
But
man.
can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I know, everybody's saying, fake people are successful, but they're not. They're miserable behind the scenes. We only see the surface stuff, the fame, the glitz, and the glamour. But are they rich in peace? Right. Are they rich in love? Money is not all everything. Money is the root. The love of money is the root to all evil. Because you have to add that beginning part. People like to say the root of the money is the root, but no, the love of money is the root of all evil. And when you put praise on a piece of paper that really has no value, we put value to money. Right. It really has no value, and you say that's why they're successful. No, it's not. They really don't have any success.
You just got a lot of stuff.
That's it.
That we
but
don't
they're
have.
miserable inside. They're miserable. They have nobody to love them. They have nobody to love because nobody wants to be around them. They have nothing. So I can't say that. Full. No, they just have stuff. That's it. They have stuff that I don't have, and if I wanted it, I can have it too.
Mm.
There's nothing out here that you can't have that these people that we consider to be successful have,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I gotta say.
And I appreciate you for saying that, B, because when you think about it, it is a lot of stuff. It's a
Yep.
lot of comparison of stuff, or how soon you
Mm-hmm.
can get those stuff. How
And
soon
Jay
can I
Z
get
said it the
on the
best:
luxury
more
jet?
money, more problem. More
Yeah.
money, more problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. At this moment, we're gonna go ahead and close out and just give our final words, starting with Teray. Uh, any final advices? Any final words of advice towards people identifying fake people in their lives?
I would say pray for discernment, and I would just say pray for wisdom, and just whatever trial that God take you through, just really listen and learn from it and take it for what it is. So when I say try, I mean like just not your
Mm-hmm.
ups and downs. I'm talking about like people and genuine, like people that you meet. But the main thing is just pray for discernment and just pray for wisdom.
Miss Bia.
Don't be a deceiver, and don't be so easy to be deceived. And that's it.
Mm.
I like that. That was yeah, I really like that. Um, just caveat what B said. Don't do that, and you you deserve so much more than the deceptive people that you might have in your circle right now. And pay attention. If you're a religious person, pay attention to what God's trying to tell you. If you're not a religious person, pay attention to what that person is showing you, because you're gonna be told. It's gonna be revealed to you that you're dealing with a fake person. So pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Shay.
Um, my final advice, it's what he said. Like, time will definitely reveal itself. Whether you believe in God, the universe, it will definitely reveal itself. My main advice is to always trust your gut. You can never go wrong with feeling the energy and going with how you really feel with something. Like, that's trusting in yourself is the main thing when it comes to dealing with other people.
And Herbert.
And I would say that it's just important to be aware and cautious of those who may be trying to deceive or manipulate you. You just have to keep an open eye. Just be aware. Just learn from your mistakes, and stop being naive.
Mm-hmm.
Just being too nice. You
And
know,
gullible.
right, I'm not saying being mean, but grow some hair under your arms or something. And just tell it. One thing I tell people, I don't mind me. Like it's like I can see people from a mile away. Like if they are manipulative, I love using the word no. I will use the word no in a minute, and I tell people, I'm like, they say, you always saying no. I said, not all the time.
That's
I
my
say no when
ministry.
it's necessary. I'm like, that is the word that God created, and uh, and I use it. So if your motives aren't right, I'm gonna say a no out of love. I'm like, no, that ain't it. That ain't gonna happen. I still love you, but no. So yeah, just got to be more aware.
And all I'm gonna say is, don't be afraid to just be alone. Sometimes I know sometimes we might surround
Mm-hmm.
ourselves around fake people because we don't have anybody else to kick it with.
I
We don't
love
have
that.
anybody else to talk to,
Love
and
you.
love you exactly.
I don't mind
Right.
doing that. I'm like
Mm-hmm.
that probably like 95% of my entire life.
Amen.
Yeah, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you for showing up, showing out,
Woo
and
woo.
you all have
Woo
a blessed
woo.
day.
You do the